Hello everyone, I am James, this is Swiss Mercs, and dun 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 dun, our development is over 500. I passed it a couple years ago, I think like 1698. We've kind of blown past it now, we're 530. Yeah, it's kind of an arbitrary number, 500, but I thought since we have, I think nine provinces, 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 10 provinces, so I thought 500 would be about 50 development on average in each, so it would be a kind of challenging but not impossible goal to get to. So yeah, it's about 50 development in each province. So the campaign goals were to form the borders of Switzerland, which we did, go tall, and go past 500 development. And get there mostly through the renting out of condottieri. Which, on reflection, started off really good, and then some point in the 1500s we kind of stopped, but then pretty much a lot of wars dried up, and we were being attacked by France. And at that point also, we really didn't need to rent out that much anymore for money. So we didn't launch, I don't think I launched any offensive wars that weren't humiliate or to reclaim territory, and I know I didn't take any ducats or war reps outside of defensive wars, so I think we held to most of our goals. I did take transfer trade power, which I didn't intend to at first, but I did that mostly with Milan. So that's about the only thing really that we didn't do. And then the Vassal, which I wasn't planning on doing, but he only had one province, so I don't think it was that much of a veer from the goal. I'll probably play for a little bit longer, maybe 20, 40-ish years, just to see where I can get the provinces and where we end up at. But for the rest of this episode, probably just go over my provinces and look the world over, and then we'll settle there. So, our provinces. Capital Basel. I moved the capital to Basel because of the Crossroads of Basel trade modifier, and it's probably the most central location. Except maybe Bern. It's a good location. Yeah, so we had a population of 628,000 total population. About 67,000 rural pops, 561,000 urban pops. Which is the largest city in Europe. 561,000. It's only a regional art and intellectual center. That's because the continental art and intellectual center belongs to Burgundy in Hanau. So we settled for a regional. We're producing steel. 71 steel we produce. 77 urban production revenue. 77 ducats. There's 12,000 ducats of urban infrastructure. Major center of trade. Some foreign students. Farming efficiency, 95%, because there's a lot of urban pops, so they buy food, drives the price up, they invest that. They're making 151 ducats. Only level 2 center production. I think that's because I think it goes by subcontinent. So because these other countries don't really have a lot of production, we weren't able to really improve that to level 3. Which I don't think we really don't need that, but it would have been nice to have. Let's see, the second highest development province is Zurich. This province has 233,000 urban pops, 632,000 rural pops. Level 2 Center of Trade. There's a Center of Catholic Pilgrimage there. 8,000 ducats invested in urban infrastructure. 34 units of steel worth 36 ducats. 48% farming efficiency. Some foreign students. They make about 100 ducats a year, actually. Oh, okay, Zurich upgraded to an important center of production. Actually did not see that. So we have 2 important centers of production. I think the next is... The next highest is actually Thurgau. They have 465,000 rural pops and 37,000 urban pops. Yeah, that's all from rural pops. That's weird, though. 50... I imagine that's because there's rural infrastructure rank 4. Because Bern actually has more rural pops by a long shot. Bern has about 700,000 rural pops. Thurgau only has 465. I think that's because they make more money from their exports. That's my assumption. Farming efficiency of 45%. Just the metalwork. Good. Really nothing else. Local wealth. Only 23 ducats. A couple of these provinces, I think Bern, Waldstetten, and Thurgau, are controlled by the nobles, which... Actually, Waldstetten is not controlled by the nobles. Vaud is controlled by the nobles, so it's Vaud, Bern, Thurgau. I kind of stopped building in these provinces because I don't want them to flip to the burghers. Otherwise, our country will be 100% burghers. I want the estates to have something. The nobles to have something. So the next province would be Bern. With 784,000 total pops, 688,000 rural pops, 96,000 urban pops. Some students. Cloth good. Has a minor center of trade. They make 27 ducats. And then Geneva is the next one. Geneva has 118,000 urban pops. Didn't really build that much in Geneva because I had the France scare, so I didn't want to lose Geneva to France after pouring a bunch of ducats into this, so I actually didn't start building this up till I think the later half of the 1500s. So yeah, 118,000 urban pop, 37,000 rural pops, minor center of trade, minor center of production, some silk. They produce 22 units of silk worth 24 ducats. Production, 37 ducats a year. Farming efficiency of 81%. Vaud would be the next one. 400,000 rural pops, 90,000 urban pops, 42 total developments. Center of Catholic Pilgrimage, minor center of trade, I should say. Just some metalwork, farming efficiency 32%. They make 27 ducats. Waldstetten, 222,000 rural pops, 57,000 urban pops, 33 total developments. Some jewelry, they produce 10 goods, 10 units, worth 10 ducats. I don't think we actually have jewelry modifier. Now we have silk. We have ample silk and copious steel. So they weren't able to produce enough goods. I think it's 20 per 100, I want to say. But then again, I think this is the only province that produces silk, and they only produce 22, and yet we have, I think that's level 3. Actually, I think ample might be level 2. It's either 2 or 3, because I think some silk would be the first tier, so We have at least tier 2 with only that one province, so kind of weird. Anyway, some students, minor center of trade, farming efficiency 40%. Only make 16 ducats. And then Vales. 109,000 rural pops, 77,000 urban pops. There is an iron mine. Our only mine in our entire country. There's a cloth good, some foreign students. The center of Catholic pilgrimage is not permanent. They make 15 ducats, farming efficiency 44%. Only 4,000 ducats invested. And then these two provinces I didn't really build up a whole lot. Tesin has 104,000 rural pops, 40,000 urban pops. Some cloth. They make 10 ducats. Some students. Farming efficiency 42%. Not much else. Grischun is basically the same. 116,000 rural pops, 32,000 urban pops. Some students. Cloth. 44% farming efficiency. 2,200 ducats invested. I think all of my provinces, except Vaud and Thurgau, have canals, at least level 1. Basel has a level 3 canal, and Geneva has a level 2 canal. There's a rank 2 capital in Basel. Here's the autonomy map mode, if anybody was wondering. I think Basel has the most development. No, Picardy does. Picardy has 136 development. Basel has more development than Paris. Ireland is taking over Portugal. It's weird. Let's go back to development. '88, '89. I think we're second. '106 in Siena, 102 in Florence. That's in Europe, of course, because China would just blow our provinces out of the water. Yeah, we're about second. Only Picardy has more development. Of course, then there's China, which, yeah. This province has 290 development. That's China. 1.5 million rural pops, 635,000 urban pops. They make 19 ducats from production a month. There's a couple provinces in Yanpur that are also in the 200s. Religion map mode? Actually, not very strong Reformation. There's some Protestant countries up north, England, Hungary, northern Italy as well, but mostly Catholic. Looks like there's only like 3 or 4 Reformed countries as well. Anything else? Culture? Culture, there's 2 cultures. I mean, we don't have that many provinces, so. High Alemannic or Arpitan. We make 60 ducats a month. $80 ducats from trade, 26 from production, 20 from taxation. That puts us at... We are the 7th greatest income producing? We have the 7th highest, I should say, income in the world. We make more money than Castile. Who has 1,400 more development than us. Two of the countries above us are Chinese. And then two Indian. This is pretty much a list of all of the great powers in the world. And then Switzerland. Except for Yan. They're the only one in that list that's not a great power. And then it looks like Orissa and Ottomans are down. Oh, the Ottomans don't really make that much money. Despite having 1,900 development, they must have crappy... Yeah, they have really crappy autonomy. That is really horrible autonomy, actually. Castile doesn't have that bad of autonomy. France is pretty bad. China's is pretty bad. But most of these provinces over here don't have a lot of development. China's always the coastal provinces. Look at trade power. Basel has 132 trade power. Geneva 50, 40. Our lowest trade power is Grischun with 9, which I think is better than pretty much every other country, every other province in our node. So our worst province has better trade than pretty much every other province in the node. With the exception of maybe 3 or 4. I think that's it, really. So, I had fun. Probably play a little bit just to see where our development ends up, because we are kind of, I wouldn't say exponential, but we're definitely parabolic, where it's just going to increase even more. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 1,000 by 30 years, the earliest, or the latest, I should say. Maybe 20 to 30 years we could hit 1,000. At least 50 years. But I think that's more time than I would need to hit 1,000. I'll try and find out, but for now I'm going to end this part here, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.